when you are spending an inordinate amount of time, how do you switch off? How are you able, as a couple, for example, to actually separate constantly doing things? Because we both workaholics.
Yeah.
We tried last night. We're week 12, 13 of lockdown, or what the hell it is. And we were talking about, I said I'll finish working at 6 o'clock, got to 7:30, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. We're still sitting down working. You're working in the kitchen. I'm working here. I mean, it's been very hard for us to do that sometimes and to switch off. So what would you think your methodology would be to try to bring a bit of order so we can work when you're working at home, but also enjoy each other's company, but switch off more importantly, because there's so many stress in the world. Sleep has been brilliant. People have either been sleeping the house down and dreaming or, have been not sleeping and struggling.
I'm somebody who has always really needed routine for my anxiety, but then especially like 9 years ago when I became fully self-employed, obviously it becomes a lot more about like your practical, professional, financial well-being. So what I always try to do is like get up early and get my workout done, because A, I don't really have the energy to work out later in the day, and B, if it's done, I tend to find that it's a box ticked and I'm already off to a good start. Then I will sit down, have breakfast, and I'll try really hard not to really work. Maybe I'll like dip in and out of something, but nothing mega. Have breakfast, and then my work day starts. And then basically I work and I set my alarm in for like a lunchtime, and I work from the second that I start to the alarm goes off. And then at lunchtime, again, I'll give myself an hour. I'll cook some food. I'll eat some food. And in lockdown, obviously you've been here, so we've had lunch together. Then we'll go back to work. And again, I set my alarm for kind of late afternoon, early evening. So like 6:30-ish when I'll stop work and I'll start cooking and we'll have dinner together. And that is when work is done. My work day is done. And that has always worked really, really well for me. In lockdown, it's been a struggle because you've been working too, which means that we're kind of on, you've got to get something done. I've just finished mine. If I start the next thing, you'll be done, but I'll be into that. So it's been actually a lot harder to balance. But I think what we have done really well is, we've had the weekends off. And Emma, my business partner, I started a new business with a new online coaching business called the EC Method with my business partner, Emma, who's fantastic. And she said to me right off the bat, she's much better at this kind of thing than I am because I'm crazy and she's completely sane. And she said to me right off the bat, we're not working Saturday and Sunday. We're not. We work Monday through Friday all day long for our clients, as you've seen, but that's our time off. What do you think?
Look, I think routine is absolutely key to all of this kind of stuff. And, if we're going to work at home much more often now, which I think will be the case, I think people have proven that they can actually work at home and be trusted. There was always that fear that if you go home, especially for lads, sort of work in between all the wanking that they would were doing. I remember watching Peep Show and one of them started working from home and they're talking to each other and they're like, so, how are you finding it working at home? And the wives walk away and they're like, the wanking. Just can't get through the wanking. I go to start a project, have a wank. I think if you can get over that point, if you're not quarantined with your missus.
Oh my God, don't pretend like you haven't been. Come on, be honest about it.
Serious?
When I hit the garage gym for an hour and a half, what are you doing?
Work out.
Little being the
whoa, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm fucking. It's like workout for me. I have to use two hands and everything. It's flat out.
Oh God.
No, but so they joke and they say, but the thing is, he actually comes up with the concept on Peep shows that you should do having a wank as a reward. So if you do a load of emails and work, knock one out, celebrate that you've achieved a job. Well,
it's better than rewarding yourself with a bucket full of food every time you finish an email.
This is very
true.
Which
a lot of people have been doing in lockdown.
But I think the lockdown thing for me has actually been all about routine, setting yourself aside, but also knowing when to switch off. Because if you're self-employed or you're running a business, the next email always feels like it's the most important. Answering that phone call, now WhatsApp, iMessage, fucking Instagram. There are people who get hold of you 750 ways, 360 days of the fucking year, or 360 whatever it is.
It's horrible.
It's horrible. So you've got to prioritise what's important. And I think in the evening, during these lockdown periods, and if people are going to start working from home, it's about setting aside and going, do you know what, come what may, 6 o'clock, I'm putting my tools down. All the tools down, right? Or, and actually also dividing up your day, because distractions during this lockdown period are what fucks you up. You go to sit on your laptop, you have your phone next to you, you've got WhatsApp pinging, you've got, news thing, you've got TV on in the background, you've got emails coming in, someone's pinged you on Facebook, I better post something on social media. Whereas I found the best thing to do is almost in my iCal, is right, next hour, solely emails. No phone, no nothing. Get my emails done for the day. Boom. On to the next project, editing my autobiography. That's been there. Okay, hour after that, I'm going to have lunch. I'm going to train. Then I'm going to do a DJ set. But when it comes to the evening, it's actually, we found watching TV series together a really nice way of unwinding in the evening. You know, we pretty much eat every meal together. Breakfast time is our favourite meal of the day. You know, we love that. I mean, breakfast and meal, every meal is a three-course meal. We sit down, we're watching Cougar Town. We finished the whole series of Friends. We started watching Ozark, which we really liked, but got a little bit dark early days.
I feel like lockdown has been quite like an oppressive, you know, trapped, dark situation as it is. And obviously Ozark does the symbolism so well of the situation that they're in. But it's very actually weirdly reflective of the situation we've all been in. And it just got to a point where I was just like, you know what? It's kind of, and again, you mentioned the sleep thing, which we can come on to, but it was kind of messing with my head a bit before bed, messing with my vibe. I was like, I need something like Cougar Town. I need something which is going to make me laugh.
That's why we like Friends, didn't you? Come What May, Friends was light-hearted.
Something cozy. And also like, where you feel like you're part of a group of friends is like, has been really helpful, I find. Anyway, sorry.
The only problem was, though, with watching Friends is that I wanted to leave you for Jennifer Aniston,
I know.
Which caused a bit of a problem.
I do get told a lot that I look like her, though, so I'll take it.
You look like Jeff Anderson, her long-lost cousin.
It's actually really fun. Actually, I got, so it's so weird. Do you know what's funny? No one ever used to say it to me, but as she's gotten older, now all of a sudden people are like, you look like Jennifer Aniston. So my mum has actually always said it. Taxi drivers, weirdly, have always said it. Recently, my brothers have started saying it, and people on social media, and I'm like, look, don't get me wrong. Like, if I could look like Jennifer Aniston now, and she's got like a good handful of years on me, I would take it. She is hot, but I'm a bit like, why only now?
Well, if you can answer that question, readers, please send your questions
to
cqquestions at jameshaskell.org. Talking about, I mean, look, to finish that part off, it's essentially get your routine, get it structured, find time in the evening for both of you. Obviously, it's not ideal necessarily with the kids, but even then planning your time, I think, would be better. We don't have kids. Thank fuck.
I know. I've never felt like more happy that we don't have children in lockdown than ever before.
This is Couples Quarantine.
Support for Couples Quarantine is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched in the UK. We've gone years without using the right tools for the job. You can be one of the first men in England to experience their life-changing products.
How's your manscaping, James?
Well, as you know, Chloe, I like my little bits and pieces to look like the last chicken in the shop, trimmed to an inch of its life, as I expect you to keep your lady bits, lady garden, manicured, like a finely toperied, that's not even right, whatever the word is. What is the thing where you trim up bushes?
I don't know.
Topiary, I think it is called topiary. You know, like a bush, look like a hedgehog. Yeah, I think so, something like that. No, I've always managed to look after my bits and pieces, but I've had a few run-ins, so I'm very excited about Manscaped's new products. Because I've burnt my testicles with sort of hair removal creams. I've nicked myself many a time with unfortunate razors and trimmers. And, you know, I think the best thing I've experienced was a little bit of a lady razor, actually. So I'm very excited that Manscaped have launched and redesigned the electrical trimmer with their new Lawnmower 3.0, which is just launching in the UK. It's been created to give you the finest ball trim it's ever been. And when I tell you it's premium, I mean it's premium. The battery lasts up to 90 minutes. Yeah. It's water resistant. One of the coolest features is an LED light, so you can see where the hell you're going for maximum grooming. It's got 7,000 RPM flower. So if you thought my balls were smooth before, it's going to be unbelievable.
I didn't.
Well, you did. To get 20% off and free shipping, all you have to do is use the code CouplesQuarantine at manscaped.com. 20% off, free shipping at manscaped.com. Are you ready to have the smoothest balls in and around near you?
Why are you asking me? I don't have balls.
Oi, your balls are going to thank me. That's Manscaped. Check it out very soon.
This is Couples Quarantine.
I think in a day, especially if we're going to carry on working together, well, working from home and doing bits and pieces and lockdown, intermittent stuff, was own space. You know, how do you finding your own space at home?
Fine. I feel like we wake up in the morning. That's when James is at his most affectionate and sweet. It's usually actually when I'm my most aggy. So it's like quite like a conflicting time for me mentally. I'm like,
you're aggy
really
from the moment
nice.
your eyes open to the moment your eyes close.
True.
You're best when you're fast asleep. That's when the party starts for me.
So the wanking party.
Oh God, so much wanking.
So we wake up together, we have breakfast together, and then we kind of are off on our own, aren't we? Usually by the end of breakfast is when I start replying to clients, and usually by the end of breakfast is when James wants to mosey into the conservatory to do God knows watch porn on his computer. And then honestly, like we'll have lunch together. Sometimes we'll have like a working lunch. He'll take his food into the other room and work and vice versa. And then dinner is our time as a couple. And I think you're right. I think separating your day so that you have you time, whether it's, you're walking the dog, you're spending time with the kids, you're getting your work done, you're training, whatever it is. And then having like that final end of the day as being like you and your partner or you and your family or, your personal time. I think that's really, really important structure to keep in place, even if you're not going to work every day.
Yeah, and I think also, people have talked about pressure and on top of each other. And if you're lucky, to have your own space, I think that's great. Lots of people don't have that outside space. I think then taking the exercise or going out and walking on your own or getting out of the house from each other is really important to keep harmony. But I think our ability to separate, and go, right, we're in the work period of the day here. You go off in the other room, I'll go here. We'll come together at meal times. We won't try and work through meal times. Mainly because I'm very messy. I'm always spilling shit on my laptop and things like that, which is not ideal. Is we spend some time together and then in the evening we sit and reflect. I think that's kind of the perfect crime. And if you've got some outside space, sometimes I go out in the garden, smoke a cigar, do whatever it is, and put and kind of relax, and we come together.
Yeah, this is one thing that has happened in lockdown. Obviously, with The Last Dance, James has always had this like guilt about the fact that he loves to have a cigar every few days or every few weeks. So I think in an ideal world, he would have always had one every few days. But obviously he's always been an athlete and he's always been taught that smoking cigars will really affect your fitness, which of course it won't if you're, doing it few and far between and you don't inhale the smoke anyway. So he's been we'll maybe have a cigar a year, like maybe on his birthday, maybe at Christmas, maybe on holiday. But it's really really like a rare occasion and he loves it. And then all of a sudden The Last Dance came out and he was watching, Michael Jordan smoking cigars on his way to games. And he was like, wow, if Michael Jordan can do it. So I would say now, like once a week you're outside having a cigar, but it's really nice. It's like your once a week thing. You usually do it on a Saturday or Sunday or maybe a Friday, but sometime at that end of the week and you enjoy it and you like it. You have a coffee and then we're pretty good actually. I think it was a bit of a struggle, I think, for everyone as well to kind of find that balance of being good and having fun. I think we all went through our quarantine alcoholic phase.
Yeah, I mean, look, because all so again, people who don't know, I was signed a contract at Bellator to have my first fight May the 16th. I actually tore my pec before I went into lockdown, which has been really fun with the rehab process. But thank God for my old mate Kevin Lidlow, physio in London, who I've been going to see once a week, which was kind of quite nice, a bit of a refreshing trip down to London. It was like a ghost town, actually. And he was amazing. Treating me in full PPE, which is always fun.
I loved it because you would go get treatment and I'd just walk around London. It was amazing.
Yeah, and completely empty. Like a ghost town.
Completely dead and in the sun, just beautiful.
The only time we ever had that is when we stayed in London for Christmas, didn't we? We arrived on the day before Christmas Eve, had Christmas Eve, woke up on Christmas Day, and there was not a soul around.
But all the pubs and restaurants were open, so we'd just walk into empty pubs that would have like
we
one
got
or two
steaming
people.
in a punch bowl, formerly owned by Guy Ritchie, and went into Hakkasan, and it was like empty.
Completely empty. It was so good. Like honestly, I'm a Londoner, and like I live now in Northampton with James, and I would just say like even
what's that, governor? You're a Londoner.
What's that, governor? Just going back into London, like while he went to physio and walking around for an hour, felt really good actually.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, I think trying to break those things up. But actually, on a Sunday, we really enjoy our Sundays and try to have a non-work day there. And us sitting outside, sitting on the iPad, watching Cougar Town as it's been, having a cigar, maybe a sweet wine or something with it, or whatever. So middle class. We've kind of really switched off and enjoyed that, which has been kind of really, really nice for me. So we've nailed the space thing. How have you kept it romantic in lockdown?
Oh my God.
Has it just been a non-stop shagathon? And let's clear this up. Last time Chloe answered this question, right, is I lost a Range Rover car because of it. Because I've been with Range Rover for 12 years and they sent me an email for terminating my sponsorship because Chloe and I did a photo shoot with Fabulous magazine, which she's done like the front cover of, and it was like a romantic Valentine's one where I admitted I was wearing leather trousers and Chloe was in a latex dress, but it's tastefully, artfully done. And she got asked a question about our sex life and she said, look, we have sex every day. And they were like, well, Haskells have sex every day, and Range Rover threw me out for that. So I'm very wary of what you're going to say to this question, but how have you kept it romantic? Maybe sex
but their
to one
PR
side.
strategy of late has been transparent as all hell.
Yeah.
I will say that. I've been like, anyway, won't go down that road.
Well, how have we kept it romantic?
Well, what do you mean by romantic?
Well, have you given,
because I think maybe, given what you've just said, your perception of romance is intimacy, like sexual intimacy. My perception of romance is like behavioural intimacy.
Yeah, but don't you think that's the same for men? Like, you know, romance. I mean, I don't know. I may be completely on my own here, but what would you qualify as romance? You probably lighting a candle, having a moment.
No, obviously not. Like that's